Part 1. The Eternal Corridor of Fushimi in Arashiyama. Close your eyes and let the weight of the world simply melt away as we find ourselves standing at the base of Mount Inari in the ancient, sacred heart of Kyoto. It is that fragile, golden hour just before the sun begins its slow descent, and the air is filled with the scent of damp earth and the faint, sweet perfume of cedar incense drifting from the main altar. Feel the coolness of the mountain breeze brushing against your skin like a soft silk kimono, grounding you in this very moment. Before you, the great Roman gate stands tall, a masterpiece of crimson and gold, guarding the entrance to a path that has been walked by millions of searching souls over more than 1,000 years. You take your first step, and the sound of the city behind you begins to fade, replaced by the rhythmic, steady crunch of gravel beneath your feet, a sound that signals the beginning of your transition from the mundane to the divine. As you move forward, you enter the Senbon Torii, the famous Thousand Gates. But here, they are not just gates. They are a living, breathing tunnel of vibrant vermilion, stretching out before you like a long, winding sunset. Each archway is a gift, a physical manifestation of a prayer, a hope, or a quiet thank you. And as you walk through them, the light changes. It becomes filtered, rhythmic, a hypnotic pulse of orange and shadow, that lulls your mind into a state of perfect, weightless peace. The wood of the gates is cool to the touch. Some are weathered and gray with age, showing the beautiful, honest scars of time, while others are bright and new, their lacquer still smelling of the forest. And as you trace the black calligraphy carved into the pillars, you are touching the history of a people who believe that even the smallest gratitude deserves a monument. Deep within this crimson labyrinth, the silence becomes absolute, a thick, velvety quiet that allows you to hear the very heartbeat of the mountain. Look closely at the stone statues of the Kitsune, the fox messengers of the god Inari, sitting in patient, frozen watch. Their eyes seem to follow you, not with judgment, but with a calm, ancient wisdom. Many of them wear hand-sewn red bibs, faded by the sun and rain, offerings from mothers and travelers seeking protection. And in their mouths, they hold the keys to the rice granaries, symbols of abundance and the cycle of life. You are walking through a place where the spiritual and the physical are woven together, where every leaf that falls from the towering Japanese cypress trees is seen as a gift from the kami. And as you breathe in, you can feel that sacred energy filling your lungs, expanding your chest, and letting your spirit expand along with it. Did you know that the specific shade of red used on these gates, known as shunyui, is more than just a color? It is a protective charm, made from a mixture of mercury and lead, intended to preserve the wood against decay, but also to ward off evil spirits. It is a color of vitality, of the sun, and of the life force that flows through all things. As you climb higher, the path begins to twist and turn, following the natural contours of the earth, and you realize that there is no rush, no finish line, only the journey itself. The way the light catches the moss on a stone lantern, the way a hidden stream gurgles somewhere in the shadows, a silver thread of sound in the green darkness. You reach a small clearing, where a tea house sits, its wooden porch weathered to a soft charcoal gray, and here, you stop to rest, watching the steam rise from a cup of roasted hojika, the earthy, toasted aroma blending with the mountain air, creating a moment of pure, unadulterated stillness. Think about the hands that built this, the generations of craftsmen who have climbed these stairs, carrying the heavy timber, the buckets of paint, the tools of their trade, all to maintain this corridor of dreams. It is a testament to the Japanese concept of shokunin, the pursuit of perfection through repetitive, dedicated labor. And as you walk, you are honoring their work, your very presence adding another layer to the story of this mountain. The sun is lower now, casting long, elegant shadows through the gates, and the vermilion turns to a deep, bruised purple. The forest around you begins to glow with a soft, bioluminescent green, as the moss drinks in the remaining light, and you feel yourself becoming a part of the landscape, no longer a visitor, but a quiet, steady element of the mountain itself. The air grows colder, and you wrap your thoughts around you like a warm cloak, feeling the immense safety of the forest, the thousands of gates acting as a protective ribcage, shielding you from the noise of the modern world. Here, there are no clocks, no notifications, no demands, only the slow, deliberate movement of your breath and the eternal, crimson path. You are floating, drifting, moving through a tunnel of time, where the Heian period and the present day meet in a single, silent point. And as the stars begin to peer through the canopy of leaves, you realize that you have found what you were looking for, a place to simply be, to exist without effort, and to let the mountain carry your burdens, while you simply drift toward sleep. In this high sanctuary, you find the Romokarushi stones, the heavy lanterns where you can test the weight of your desires. You make a wish, and as you lift the stone, you feel its density, a reminder that our dreams have weight, but also that we have the strength to carry them. But for now, you can put that weight down. Leave it here, by the moss-covered shrine, and continue your walk with empty hands and a full heart. The descent is even slower, a gentle, downward glide through the flickering orange light. The sound of a distant temple bell, Bonsho, echoes through the valley, a low, resonant hum that vibrates in the air for a long, long time, fading so slowly that you cannot tell when the sound ends and the silence begins. That is the secret of Kyoto. The beauty is in the fading, in the soft edges, in the quiet, lingering afterglow. Part 2. The Emerald Cathedral of Arashiyama. Leave the crimson gates of the mountain behind, and let your mind travel, softly, across the quiet city of Kyoto, to its western edge, where the Katsura River flows with a cold, silver clarity beneath the Togitsukyo Bridge, the bridge to the moon. Feel the temperature drop just a few degrees as you enter the sacred district of Arashiyama. Here, the air is heavy with the scent of wet moss and the sharp, clean fragrance of young bamboo. It is a scent that feels like a cold glass of water for the soul. Take a slow, deliberate breath and feel the humidity of the valley settling on your skin, like a soft, invisible veil of silk. You are standing at the threshold of the Sageno Bamboo Grove, a place that is not merely a forest, but a living, breathing cathedral, where the walls are made of jade, and the ceiling is a shifting, emerald canopy of the heavens. Before you, the path stretches out, a narrow ribbon of dark, damp earth, flanked by tens of thousands of towering stalks, reaching so high that their tops are lost in a misty, golden haze. As you begin to walk, notice the unique, rhythmic creaking of the stalks, a sound that the Japanese call shikodoshi in spirit. Though here it is the wind itself playing the instrument, listen to the hollow, melodic thud of the giant grass stems, swaying and knocking against one another in a slow, meditative dance. This sound, this particular rustle of bamboo leaves, has been officially designated by the Japanese Ministry of Environment as one of the 100 soundscapes of Japan. It is a sonic treasure, a frequency designed by nature to harmonize with the human heart. And as you listen, you can feel the vibration of the hollow wood echoing in your own chest, grounding you, pulling you deeper into the emerald stillness. Each stalk is a masterpiece of natural engineering, perfectly smooth, segments marked by thin, elegant rings. Their surface is so cool that they feel like polished jade under a phantom touch. In the Heian period, over 1,000 years ago, the Japanese nobility would come to these very slopes, seeking a refuge from the complexities of court life. They built hidden villas here, not to display wealth, but to practice the art of shining, the quiet contemplation of the moon and the trees. As you walk, imagine the scent of their silk robes, treated with sandalwood incense, lingering in the air, mingling with the raw, primal smell of the bamboo, a scent that is both sweet and slightly metallic, like rain on a hot stone. There is a profound, ancient wisdom in the bamboo, a plant that is technically a grass, yet grows with a strength that defies the imagination. Some species here can grow nearly 40 inches in a single day, a silent, relentless surge toward the light. Yet, despite this incredible power, the bamboo remains perfectly flexible, bending under the weight of the heavy winter snow, never snapping, never breaking, a living symbol of Gammon, the virtue of enduring the seemingly unendurable with grace and silent dignity. Further along the path, the light begins to change. It becomes a filtered, submarine green, as if you are walking at the bottom of a shallow, sunlit sea. The shadows are long and soft, blurring the edges of the takegaki, the traditional fences woven by hand from fallen bamboo branches. They are a testament to the cycle of the forest where nothing is wasted, and everything eventually returns to the earth. You pass a small, weathered stone lantern, its hollow center filled with a single, flickering candle, casting a warm, amber light against the cool, jade backdrop. This is the heart of the grove, where the silence is so thick you can almost touch it, a silence that is not empty, but full of the ghosts of poets and monks, who sat in this very spot, watching the way the light catches the fine, needle-like leaves, creating a shimmering, celestial net against the deep blue of the sky. Take another breath, slow and steady, and feel the peace of Arashiyama filling the empty spaces in your mind. The bamboo creates a natural barrier against the noise of the modern world, a sacred enclosure where the only clock is the movement of the sun, and the only agenda is the swaying of the stalks. Think of the deep, interconnected root systems beneath your feet, a vast, hidden network that holds the entire mountain together, a reminder that beneath our individual lives, we are all connected by the same, silent pulse of the earth. You are part of this forest now, a quiet observer in a kingdom of green, where every rustle is a secret, and every shadow is a memory. Let yourself drift deeper into the jade light, letting the swaying rhythm of the bamboo, lulled by the wind, carry you into a state of perfect, weightless calm. As the path curves, you encounter the Nonomiya Shrine, a small, black-timbered sanctuary where ancient princesses once purified themselves before traveling to the grand shrine of eyes. The dark wood of the shrine stands in stark, beautiful contrast to the bright green of the grove, and the sound of a small, bronze bell rings out once, a clear, silver note that hangs in the air, dissolving slowly into the rustle of the leaves. This is the essence of the Japanese aesthetic, wabi-sabi, finding beauty in the transient, the aged, and the simple. It is the feeling of the rough bark on a cedar tree, the moss growing on a stone basin, and the knowledge that this moment, like the swaying of the bamboo, will never happen in exactly this way again. And that is what makes it so profoundly precious. The shadows are deepening now, the green turning to a dark, velvet forest light, and the path begins to lead you back toward the river. But you carry the stillness of the grove within you, a pillar of jade in your mind, steady and strong. The sound of the wind in the bamboo follows you, a fading whisper, promising that the forest will always be here, breathing, swaying, and waiting for you to return. But for now, the river is calling, the silver water of the Katsura reflecting the first stars, and you are ready to let the current of the night take you further into the dream. Part 3. Kinkaku-ji, the golden pavilion over the mirror of water. As the rustle of the bamboo fades into a soft, lingering echo, let yourself be carried north, toward the foothills of the Kinkaku Mountains, where the air is still, and the light begins to shimmer with an unusual, celestial brilliance. You are approaching Kinkaku-ji, the temple of the Golden Pavilion, a place where the line between the earthly realm and the pure land of the Buddha becomes thin, almost transparent. Take a slow, grounding breath, and feel the warmth of the sun reflecting off a hidden surface. Even before you see it, you can feel the radiance, a gentle, golden vibration that seems to emanate from the very earth itself. You pass through the simple, unadorned wooden gates, and suddenly, the world opens up, revealing a sight so beautiful, so impossible, that it feels like a dream captured in amber. A 3-story pavilion, its top 2 tiers completely covered in shimmering, pure gold leaf, standing at the edge of a vast, crystalline pond. The water of the Kyoto, the mirror pond, is perfectly flat, a dark, emerald glass that captures the reflection of the gold with such clarity that it is hard to tell where the temple ends and the water begins. Look at the way the sunlight dances across the surface, casting ripples of liquid light onto the surrounding pine trees, whose branches are carefully trained by centuries of masters to lean over the water in a graceful, eternal bow. This is not just a building, it is a vessel of light, designed to represent the ultimate harmony between human creation and the natural world. And as you gaze at it, You feel your own thoughts becoming clearer, smoother, like the surface of the pond itself. The gold leaf is so thin, so delicate, that it catches the slightest shift in the atmosphere, turning from a bright, blinding yellow at noon to a deep, hunted bronze as the afternoon begins to wane. In the late 14th century, this was a retirement villa of the shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu, a man who sought to create a paradise on earth, a physical manifestation of the Zen Buddhist ideal of transcending the material world. Each floor of the pavilion represents a different style of architecture. The first floor is the palace style, with its natural wood and white plaster, grounding the structure in the reality of the earth. The second is the samurai style, and the third, the highest, is the Zen temple style, covered inside and out with that incredible, luminous gold. At the very top, a golden phoenix, the Ho-Oh, perches with its wings spread, a symbol of rebirth, of fire, and of the eternal spirit that rises from the ashes of the past. It has watched over this valley through wars and fires, and the slow, steady march of time, remaining a beacon of beauty in a changing world. As you walk along the winding path that circles the pond, notice the small, moss-covered islands, each one placed with such precision that it feels as if they have always been there, representing the mythical islands of the immortals. The scent of the water is cool and slightly mineral, blending with the earthy, resinous fragrance of the surrounding cedar and maple trees. And as you move into the shadows of the forest, the pavilion appears and disappears behind the branches, like a flickering, golden ghost. You find a small stone basin, where the water trickles from a hidden spring. The sound is a delicate, silver tinkle, cutting through the heavy, humid air of the afternoon, and you stop to watch a single, orange koi fish, gliding slowly beneath the surface of the reflection, moving through the golden ripples with a grace that is almost hypnotic. Did you know that the gold on the pavilion is not merely for display, but is actually a thin layer of protection, a shield of light that prevents the wood from decaying? And in the same way, the beauty of this place serves as a shield for the mind, protecting it from the noise and the chaos of the outside world. There is a deep, resonant silence here, despite the travelers and the history, a silence that originates from the golden walls themselves, a silence that asks you to be still, to let go of the need to understand, and to simply witness. The pavilion has been destroyed and rebuilt, most recently in the mid-20th century after a young monk, overwhelmed by its beauty, set it aflame, a reminder that the things we love the most are often the most fragile, and that their value lies in their impermanence, in the fact that we are lucky to see them, even for a moment. As the sun dips lower behind the mountains, the pavilion begins to glow from within, as if it has stored up the light of the day, and is now breathing it back out into the dusk. The emerald green of the pond deepens to a dark, velvet black, and the gold becomes a molten, orange fire, reflecting in your eyes and warming your spirit. You feel a sense of profound, quiet completion, as if a piece of your own soul has been mirrored in the water. You are at peace, you are safe, and the radiance of the pavilion is a blanket that covers you, protecting your dreams as you prepare to drift further into the night. The path leads you away, but you carry that golden spark within you, a steady, unwavering light that will guide you, softly, through the quiet corridors of sleep. Let the image of the phoenix, gold against the indigo sky, be the last thing you see, as you let go and sink into the warmth of the light. Part 4. Nara, the sanctuary of the sacred deer and the great Buddha. Let the golden reflection of the pavilion dissolve, like mist over a morning lake, as we travel toward the ancient cradle of Japanese civilization, the city of Nara, where the spirits of the past still wander the wide, open parklands in the form of thousands of sacred, bowing deer. As you arrive, feel the change in the energy. It is more grounded here, more spacious. The air carries the scent of sun-warmed grass, old cedar wood, and the faint, dusty aroma of ancient scrolls. Take a slow, deep breath, and feel the weight of centuries pressing gently against your shoulders, a comforting, steady weight that tells you that you are safe in the hands of history. You are standing at the edge of Nara Park, a vast, emerald expanse where the boundaries between the human and the animal worlds simply melt away. Look at the deer, the shika, with their soft, liquid eyes and velvet antlers, moving with a grace that is both regal and incredibly, profoundly calm. These deer have been protected for over 1,000 years, once considered divine messengers of the gods, and even today, they move through the crowds with a serene, fearless confidence, often pausing to offer a polite, rhythmic bow in exchange for a cracker or kind word. As you walk, a young fawn might approach you, its coat dappled with white spots like fallen cherry blossoms. Feel the softness of its breath against your hand, a tiny, warm pulse of life that connects you to the heartbeat of the park. This is a place of ahimsa, of non-violence, where every living being is respected, and as you watch the deer rest beneath the shade of the ancient, gnarled oak trees, you feel your own pulse slowing down, matching the gentle, unhurried rhythm of their movements. There is no urgency here, only the slow, cyclical turning of the seasons, and the quiet, steady presence of these forest guardians. As you move deeper into the park, the massive silhouette of Tadaiji Temple begins to rise before you. The Great Eastern Temple, a structure so vast that it once held the title of the largest wooden building in the entire world. The Nandaemon Gate guards the entrance, its two fierce, towering guardian kings carved from dark, weathered wood, standing watch with bulging eyes and rippling muscles. Yet, as you pass between them, you feel only a sense of profound, protective silence. The smell of burning incense grows stronger now, a deep, earthy mixture of sandalwood and pine, drawing you toward the Daibutsudan, the hall of the Great Buddha. The air inside is cool, and carries a heavy, resonant stillness, as if the very atoms of the building are vibrating with the echoes of a million prayers. And there, sitting in the center of the vast, cavernous space, is the Daibutsu, a bronze statue of the Vairocana Buddha, over 15 meters tall, a mountain of copper and gold. Gaze up at the face of the Buddha. His eyes are half closed in an eternal, compassionate meditation, his hand raised in the Abhaya Mudra, the gesture of fear not, a silent promise that you are protected, and that all is as it should be. The bronze has darkened over the centuries to a deep, charcoal green, catching the soft, amber light of 1,000 flickering candles, and as you stand in his shadow, you feel small, but in the most beautiful, liberating way, as if your individual worries are just tiny grains of sand in the vast, endless ocean of time. Did you know that the casting of this statue in the 8th century nearly bankrupted the young Japanese nation, requiring hundreds of tons of bronze and precious gold? It was an act of supreme, collective faith, a way to anchor the spirit of the people to a single, unmoving point of peace, and that peace still radiates from the statue today, a cool, steady frequency that lulls your mind into a state of perfect, wordless surrender. Outside, the sun is beginning to set, casting long, golden fingers of light through the ancient, wooden pillars of the temple, and the sound of the bonsho, the great temple bell, begins to ring out across the valley. It is a sound that does not just hit the ear, it vibrates through the entire body, a low, deep gong that lasts for minutes, fading so slowly that it becomes part of the silence itself. You follow the sound up the hill toward Nagatsudo, a wooden balcony that overlooks the entire city, where the air is thin and crisp, and the view is a tapestry of dark, tiled roofs and flickering street lamps. The deer are beginning to retreat back into the shadows of the forest, their shapes becoming silhouettes against the indigo sky, and you feel a sense of deep, quiet completion, as if the ancient soul of Nora has wrapped its arms around you and is whispering, "Rest, all is well." Take one last breath of the cedar-scented air and feel the solid, unmoving strength of the great Buddha within your own heart. You are grounded, you are safe, and the ancient wisdom of Noro is a soft, warm light that will guide you through the darkness. The path back is quiet. The only sound is the rustle of the leaves and the distant, melodic call of a deer in the forest, a sound that signals the transition from day to dream. You are ready now to let the history of this place carry you into the deep, still waters of sleep, knowing that the guardians are watching, and the Buddha is smiling, and the world is at peace. Let yourself sink deeper and deeper into the velvet, starry silence of the night. Part 5. Hakone, Misty Mirrors and the Presence of Mount Fuji. Now, let the sound of the temple bells fade into a distant, silver memory, as we travel toward the volcanic heart of Japan, to the misty highlands of Hakone, where the earth is alive with a restless, primordial energy, and the clouds dance in a slow, eternal waltz around the peaks. As you arrive, feel the air grow thick and moist, carrying the faint, sulfuric tang of the hidden hot springs, a scent that speaks of the deep, fiery power hidden beneath the layers of rock and forest. Take a slow, deep breath, and feel the cool, mountain mist settling on your face, like 1,000 tiny, invisible diamonds. You are standing on the shores of Lake Ashi, a vast, sapphire basin formed in the crater of an ancient volcano, thousands of years ago. The water is dark and still, a perfect, liquid mirror that waits, with bated breath, for the clouds to part. And then, as if by a silent, divine command, the mist begins to thin, and there she is. Fujisan, the sacred mountain, rising from the horizon in a perfect, symmetrical cone of blue and white. She does not just sit on the landscape, she dominates it with a silent, overwhelming presence that demands your total, unmoving attention. The sight of the snow-capped peak, glowing with a pale, ghostly light against the indigo sky, is so profound that it feels like a physical touch, a grounding force that pulls your spirit into a state of absolute, breathless awe. This mountain is more than stone and ice. She is the soul of a nation, a symbol of the eternal and the unchanging in a world of constant flux. And as you gaze at her, you feel your own small, fleeting worries, dissolving into the vastness of a shadow. To experience Hakone is to surrender to the water. Imagine yourself now, stepping into the steaming, mineral-rich embrace of an onsen, a traditional hot spring bath, carved from the very volcanic rock of the mountain. The water is a perfect, womb-like warmth, and as you sink beneath the surface, you feel the tension in your muscles, the knots in your mind, simply unraveling, floating away on the plumes of white steam that rise into the cool night air. The scent of the water is earthy and ancient, a mixture of cedarwood tubs and the deep, metallic minerals of the earth's core. And as you lean your head back against the smooth, mossy stone, you watch the stars begin to flicker through the shifting veils of mist, like distant, flickering lanterns in a celestial garden. This is the art of Toji, the ancient practice of hot spring healing, where the body and the earth become one, and the rhythm of your heart slows to match the slow, steady pulse of the tectonic plates far below. In the Edo period, this was a vital checkpoint on the Tokaido Road, the great sea highway that connected Kyoto to Tokyo. Travelers would pause here, weary and dust-covered, to find solace in the steam and the silence of the cedar forests. Walk with me now, along the remains of that ancient road, where the giant sugi trees, the Japanese cedars, stand like a silent, green army, their trunks so wide that 3 men could not link hands around them. The path is paved with uneven, moss-covered cobbles, each one smoothed by the feet of 1,000,000 samurai, poets, and pilgrims. And as you walk, you can almost hear the soft, rhythmic clatter of their wooden Jita sandals, echoing in the stillness. The forest here is deep and protective, a cathedral of shadows where the light only enters in thin, vertical spears, illuminating the ferns and the silent, stone statues of Jizo, the protector of travelers, who sit by the path with their red bibs and serene, mossy smiles. Did you know that Hakone is home to the Great Boiling Valley, Owakadani, where the earth literally breathes through vents in the rock, releasing clouds of white, sulfurous steam that rise hundreds of feet into the air? It is a reminder that we live on a living, breathing planet, and that even the most solid mountain is part of a grand, slow, geological dance. Here, you can find the famous Kurotamago, eggs boiled in the natural hot springs, their shells turned a deep, charcoal black by the minerals in the water, a small, strange gift from the fire within the earth. But even here, amidst the steam and the fury of the volcano, there is a sense of profound, quiet order, a balance between the heat of the fire and the coolness of the lake, between the movement of the clouds and the stillness of the mountain. As the night deepens, the mountain begins to fade back into the velvet shadows, but her presence remains, a heavy, comforting weight on the horizon. The lake is now a sheet of dark, polished obsidian, reflecting the first, silver sliver of the moon. and you feel a sense of total, effortless immersion. You are safe, you are warm, and the ancient, volcanic energy of Hakone is a slow, steady heat that radiates from your center out toward the tips of your fingers and toes. The sound of the wind in the cedars is a soft, rhythmic lullaby, a long, slow exhale of the earth itself, and you are ready to let the mist carry you further and further into the deep, warm, healing waters of sleep, knowing that the mountain is standing guard and the earth is breathing for you as you drift into the starry, silent night. Part 6. Kanazawa, the secret gardens and the shadows of samurai. Close your eyes and let the mist of Hakone carry you, like a slow-moving cloud, across the rugged spine of the Japanese Alps toward the western coast, where the city of Kanazawa sits between the mountains and the sea, protected and preserved, like a precious jewel in a lacquer box. As you arrive, feel the change in the texture of the air. It is crisper here, carrying the faint, salty breath of the Sea of Japan, and the refined, delicate scent of gold leaf and wet ink. Take a slow, deep breath, and feel the elegance of this place settling into your bones, grounding you in a world where beauty is not just seen, but deeply felt. You are standing at the entrance of Kenroku, considered by many to be the most beautiful landscape garden in all of Japan, a place where the 6 attributes of a perfect garden, spaciousness, seclusion, artifice, antiquity, watercourses, and panoramas, exist in a state of absolute, breathless harmony. The path beneath your feet is made of smooth, weathered stones, winding gracefully around the Kasumigarai pond, where the water is so still, it looks like a sheet of dark, polished silk. Notice the kotojitoro, the 2-legged stone lantern that stands at the water's edge, its shape inspired by the bridge of a traditional Japanese harp, a symbol of the melodic, quiet grace that flows through every corner of this garden. In the winter, or the late autumn, you can see the yukitsuri, the intricate, umbrella-like webs of golden rope, designed by master gardeners to protect the delicate branches of the ancient pine tree from the weight of the heavy, wet snow. They rise toward the sky like celestial tents, a testament to the Japanese art of caring for the living world with a patience that spans generations. Each needle on the pine tree seems to have its own place, each masu rock its own story, and as you walk, you feel your own mind becoming as orderly and as peaceful as the garden itself. Beyond the garden walls, the shadows grow longer, and we move into the Nagamachi district, the ancient quarter where the samurai once lived. Here, the streets are narrow and winding, flanked by earthen walls made of mud and straw, their warm, ochre color glowing in the fading light. Feel the coolness of the stone walls as you pass, and imagine the sound of the small, clear streams that run alongside the paths, the Tatemon, carrying the mountain water through the city with a constant, rhythmic gurgle. This is the world of the shadows of the sword, but the violence of the past has long since dissolved into a deep, meditative silence, replacing the clash of steel with the soft, rhythmic sound of a brush moving over paper, and the slow, deliberate movements of the tea ceremony. Kanazawa means marsh of gold, and as the sun sets, you can see why. The entire city seems to be bathed in a soft, metallic glow, reflecting the history of the gold leaf craftsmen who have worked here for over 400 years, beating the precious metal until it is so thin, it can disappear into the air with a single breath. As the evening deepens, let us walk toward the Higashichaya district, the old entertainment quarter where the geishas still move through the twilight, like flickering ghosts in silken robes. The wooden buildings are dark and elegant, their kimusuko lattice windows casting long, rhythmic shadows across the cobblestones, and from behind the closed doors, you can hear the faint, melodic pluck of a shamisen, its notes stretching out into the night, thin and melancholic, before vanishing into the cool, salty air. The scent here is different. It is the smell of old cedar, expensive incense, and the sweet, floral perfume of the plum blossoms that bloom in the hidden courtyards. There is a profound, quiet dignity in these streets, a sense that the past is not behind us, but is walking right beside us, draped in shadows and silk. Did you know that Kanazawa was one of the few major cities in Japan to be spared from the destruction of the Second World War, allowing its soul to remain intact a continuous thread of culture and history that has never been broken. This continuity is a comfort, a reminder that beauty can endure, and that even in a world of change, there are places where the light stays the same. You find yourself standing by a small, wooden bridge, watching the first stars reflect in the dark water of the Sai River, and you feel a sense of total, effortless immersion. The city is a protective shell, a sanctuary of art and memory, and as you breathe in the evening air, you feel the weight of your thoughts becoming as light and as thin as a sheet of Kanazawa gold leaf, drifting away on the night breeze. You are safe, you are here, and the shadows of the samurai are now guardians of your sleep, watching over the quiet, winding paths of your mind. The sound of the river is a constant, low-frequency hum, a lullaby of water and stone, and you are ready to let the elegance of Kanazawa carry you further and further into the deep, velvet, indigo night. The garden is waiting in your dreams, the lanterns are lit, and the path is clear. Let yourself sink deeper and deeper into the stillness as the world turns to gold and the gold turns to silence. Part 7. Tokyo, the light in the neon ocean. As we leave the quiet gardens of Kanazawa, let your spirit be carried on a high-speed, silent, silver thread, moving eastward toward the staggering, electric pulse of Tokyo, the greatest metropolis the world has ever known. As you arrive, do not be afraid of the scale. Instead, feel the energy of the city wrapping around you. Like a warm, humming circuit, take a slow, deep breath, and notice how the air here is vibrant, filled with the faint, ozone scent of technology, and the delicious, savory aroma of steaming ramen drifting from 1,000 hidden basement kitchens. You are standing on a high observatory, perhaps in Shinjuku or Roppongi, looking out over a horizon that is no end, a vast, shimmering sea of white, blue, and amber lights, stretching out like a fallen galaxy, under the deep, velvet purple of the urban night. The city below is a masterpiece of organized complexity, a rhythmic, breathing organism where millions of lives move in a perfect, silent choreography. Look down at the Shibuya crossing, the busiest intersection on Earth, and see how, from this height, the crowds move like schools of fish, flowing together, then apart, in a beautiful, hypnotic geometry. But even here, in the center of the storm, there's a profound, unexpected silence, a Japanese quality of ma, the space between things, the pause between the notes. Tokyo is not a roar, it is a whisper, a collective agreement of millions to move with courtesy, with quietude, and with a deep, internal focus. Feel the vibration of the city beneath your feet. It is not a trembling, but a steady, comforting hum, the sound of a world that works, a world that is designed to hold you and keep you safe. From the heights, we descend into the soft, ancient shadows of the Meiji Jingu Shrine, a massive, emerald forest hidden in the very heart of the concrete jungle. As you pass through the giant, wooden torii gate, made of 1700-year-old cypress, the sound of the traffic, the neon, and the crowds simply vanishes, replaced by the deep, rhythmic sigh of the forest. The air is cooler here, filtered by thousands of trees that were planted by hand, a gift from the people to an emperor, creating a sanctuary where the only light is the soft, green glow of the moss and the flicker of the paper lanterns. Walk slowly, feeling the thick, gray gravel beneath your feet, a sound that clears the mind of its clutter and brings you back to the present, back to the breath, back to the stillness. This is a duality of Tokyo, the ability to move from a high-tech dream to a timeless prayer in a single, quiet step. We travel now toward the Sumida River, where the water is a dark, moving mirror, reflecting the towering, skeletal beauty of the Tokyo skytree, reaching like a silver needle toward the stars. Along the banks, the cherry blossoms, the sakura, may be in bloom, their pale, pink petals falling into the water like tiny, silent, biodegradable confetti. Each petal is a reminder of the ephemeral nature of life, of the beauty found in things that do not last. And as you watch them float away, you feel a sense of total, effortless release. You are not just a visitor in this city, You are part of its light, a single, steady flicker in the grand, electric tapestry. The neon signs in Akihabara and Ginza begin to soften, their sharp edges blurring in the evening haze, turning into soft, pastel clouds of rose, violet, and cyan, a digital sunset that never truly fades. Did you know that beneath the streets of Tokyo, there are vast, cavernous cathedrals of concrete and steel, designed to protect the city from the floods, a hidden, subterranean world that mirrors the complexity of the one above? It is a reminder that even in the most modern place on Earth, we are always seeking protection, always building sanctuaries, both above and below the ground. You find yourself now in a small, quiet park in Yanaka, the old town, where the buildings are low and the cats sleep on the warm, stone walls. The sound of a distant, rhythmic clack-clack of a night watchman's wooden blocks, Hayoshigi, echoes through the narrow lanes, a traditional signal that the neighborhood is safe and that it is time to rest. It is a sound that has not changed in hundreds of years, a steady, wooden heartbeat in the center of the Silicon Soul. The night is reaching its deepest point now, and the city is beginning to breathe more slowly. The lights are dimming in the office towers, and the trains are returning to their silent, silver cradles. You are back in your sanctuary, high above the streets, looking out at the endless, flickering horizon. The hum of the city is now a lullaby, a soft, electronic pulse that matches the rhythm of your own quiet breath. You are safe. You are held in the arms of the great, neon ocean, and the light of Tokyo is a warm, protective glow that will guard your dreams until the sun rises over the Pacific. Let the images of the red Tokyo Tower, the green forest of Meiji, and the silver river blend together into a single, beautiful, peaceful blur. You are ready to let go, to sink further and further into the deep, starry, electric silence as the city and the world drift into sleep.